Reach out to your friends and loved ones in hospitals and nursing homes. They love when you brighten up their room. About to pay a visit in person? Clifford's Flowers always has cash and carry bouquets on hand in their store at 86 Liberty Street in Quincy. Call now to order a delivery. 888-441-8884 or online at cliffords.com.
On McNamara Broker Team at all?
All the moisture in the air combining with a weak storm system bringing intense downpours, strong thunderstorms, some severe in the local area. And again, that can cause flooding, especially in areas of poor drainage. So a few of these thunderstorms crossing the same roadways. And again, that will lead to localized flooding through 6 or 7 o'clock tonight along the South Shore. Last to move away from the Plymouth area towards 8 and 9 o'clock. And some clearing and more comfortable later tonight, a low of 50, 60 in the city of Boston. Tomorrow,
getting ready to cut over.
Dry with bright sunshine, the high 77. Tomorrow night, fair, near
cool, calm, and collected.
Thursday, again, on the cooler side, a light breeze in off the ocean, only near 70 along the beaches. Near 80 inland of Route 3 with sunshine. Friday, subtle mix with clouds, a high of 82, cooler at the beaches. WATD meteorologist Rob Gilman.
I want to look up what that was. Like, a woman fell. Oh, no.
614. That's local
Route 3?
Christine James.
She was in a car. She went over.
Real estate.
Over a side and died.
95.9 WATD.
Now, Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate
90
Services.
seconds. Yeah, that accident was unfortunate yesterday.
Hi, I'm Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique real estate firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing consultants who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my real estate team member, Mary Baker, and I, along with the director of Boston Connect Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, provide you with our unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We like to mix it up sometimes, so not only will you hear our perspective on real estate topics, but you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of some of our real estate agents at Boston Connect Real Estate and the preferred professionals that we trust. Be part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900.
25 seconds.
Real Estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable.
Very welcome.
If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at
10-4.
Real Estate,
I hope you feel better immediately if that happens.
you can contact us at BostonConnect.com.
10 seconds and a hot mic, ladies. Here we go.
8,000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes. And let's talk real estate. And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. This is Sharon McNamara, and you are, of course, listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable with Melissa Wallace.
Hello.
And Mary Baker.
Hi.
And we are live here in studio in our Boston Connect office. Boston Connect Real Estate is our sponsor of our show. And we took last week off because I don't know why. Last week was sort of
Last week was a strange week for all.
Yeah.
I got some bad news.
Oh, yeah.
I got some bad news, so I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to
Mary.
attend.
Well, we'll let people know because you've gone that far. But
Yes.
Mary's cat of 20 years, Simba, is now in heaven. So
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah. So that was a tough week last week. And I don't even remember what else happened, but it seemed like a lot. I haven't been feeling, I'm still not feeling good. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to get tested tomorrow for Lyme. Let's see what happens.
You better.
Yeah.
Let's not play with that either.
I was going to
Yeah,
say we can't afford you to have Lyme, so you're going to be perfectly fine. That's good. That's my.
Yeah, let's figure this out. I want to feel better anyways. I mean, just in time for summer, but you guys have been doing a great job for me holding down the fort, and I really appreciate you and all that you do. Really digging our new mic stands here.
I am too. So I'm standing up. I feel like, I don't know. I'm the host today.
Yeah, you can be. Everyone can hear me, right? I really can't hear myself, so I'm hoping that anybody else can hear me. I'm going to turn myself up soon, but we did have a topic. It's a good thing that I hadn't promoted the show just yet before you changed it, but we were gonna be talking about waiving home inspections and stuff like that. But we sort of have seen a shift in the market. So before we reveal what we're talking about tonight, why did you guys, or really Sharon, why did you decide to change our topic tonight based off of what's going on?
Well, it's been really interesting because, I mean, we've been talking for so long about like the market. It's just so fast. It's fast and furious. You know what I mean? So, and with, multiple offers on properties, which we're still seeing, but it's so telltale when we are looking at our multiple offers, you can almost see what is going on. We put a new listing on the market this week, and it was in Halifax, and we had a lot of showings, but like not the same fury that we were having before. Remember? And I said to you, I called Mary and I was like, yeah, it's really interesting to me because the price point is really good. $450. It's a 4-bedroom colonial. And I was like, I feel a little bit of a slowdown. And why don't you tell people what your perception is of that and why you feel we're seeing that?
Yeah, I immediately, I think I felt it more even on the buy side when we're putting in offers, because I'm noticing our buyers aren't competing against 20 offers. It's maybe 4 or 5. So I'm noticing the competition is kind of
versus 40 and 20.
Yeah. It's kind of lessening. And my theory is that there is a lot of buyer fatigue out there. We're coming into the warmer months. We typically always see in a stable market or a natural market, we see a slowdown come July anyway, because people are getting out of school or the kids are getting out of school. Everybody's going on vacation. And it just seems to be that time of year. We see a little bit of a lull. Now, I think buyers are kind of just like, you know what? The weather is nice. I want to enjoy my time. I'm just going to take a mental break for the summer, and I'm going to reconvene and let the bleeding stop for the summer. And I'm going to reconvene maybe come fall.
So, and with that said, and Melissa said the same thing. So Melissa takes care of the office and she sees everything that all of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate, like, what's going on with sales and multiple offers and things like that. And you said that you've noticed with the offers, you're not seeing, and I predicted this, you're not seeing as far over the asking price as we were in the previous couple months, right?
Yeah, that can be. What are you laughing at me?
No, I want to tell my Herringbrook story after.
Oh yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah. That was funny. But it's interesting because I think that that there could be a couple different factors. It could be, okay, well, I think that I could get more for my house, so let's put it on a high number. Something like maybe the house is even worth that number, so you're already starting off on a bad note. Okay. So even if people did offer over, now they're not going to go much over that if they already think that, they're sort of
paying a higher price point.
That's what so sellers are pricing the homes with emotional value.
And we will say that Sharon and Mary did receive 6 offers on that Halifax house. And it's interesting because on the weekends I go to all of the Boston Connect open houses, and I stopped by on Saturday and saw Mary, and there were a lot of groups there when I got there. Like everyone tends to just park on the street. I pulled right into the driveway. I pulled right into the driveway because that's where Mary was, and like it was like a half circle driveway, and like nobody was in it. So I'm like, I'm not parking on the street. So I just went right in, and there were a lot of groups up. And then Mary and I got to talking, and we looked up, and everybody was gone. And we were like, oh, okay. So like it all came in the first half of the open house. And then I went to another open house, and they were very sporadic as well.
It's interesting though, because on that same day, so with it being Father's Day weekend, and this just kind of goes into playing on the timing of market, with it being Father's Day weekend, I had a buyer that was going out and looking at maybe 6 or 7 houses. A majority of those open houses were from 11 to 1. So on Saturday, and nothing was really going on Sunday. So I think because we kind of timed it right and we did 10 to 12, people front loaded our house so that they could get there first, and then hit the ones that were going to be 11 to 1 and 12 to 2 and kind of in the middle of the day.
Before Mary reveals her little story about Herringbrook, if you guys,
funny.
if you have any questions about real estate, or you even want to just give us a little ring, come and talk to us. You can give Ben a call at the studio, and he'll phone you right into us, 781-837-4900. All right, Mary, reveal what happened to you
last night. So we'll actually have a couple stories about Herringbrook today, and just tying in with our actual topic. But something I thought was interesting is where we're talking about how high over asking some of these houses are going. Well, Herringbrook just sold, and that was one of the properties that, if you guys remember from a couple of weeks ago or shows ago, we had 40 offers on it. We did a show the next day. We were all super slappy and super tired.
Yeah, and you'll never be able to find that show.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
Deleted it.
But because of that, so we listed the house for $679,900, and this is still mind-boggling to me. $679,900, and we sold for $857,500. So $857,000, $500,000, which is, I think, 126. When you do sale to list price ratio, that's what I saw last night in MLS. It's 126% sale to list price ratio. And when I went to go input the sale price into MLS, it goes, caution, warning. The list price was $679,900. They thought I was making a mistake. I was like, no, little do you know, MLS. I am 100% correct.
And that's part of the reason why, and this is what I've been saying and sort of predicting, and we've been pretty good with that actually, is now what we're going to see is, now that Herringbrook has sold, for example, that's a 3-bedroom cape in Pembroke with a 2-car under, a nice pool and a cabana, beautiful, beautiful home, and wonderful neighborhood, and great neighbors over there, and great sellers. They were just awesome to work for. But now that's our comp at $857,500, right? So now when we're using that as our base number, it's what, $126,000 over what we listed it for. So now when we go to list another 3-bedroom cape and we use that as our comp, my prediction is that now we're not going to see that emotional value over it.
Yeah. Well, do you think people are going to be like, wow, that sold for what?
Oh, of course. And then we just had the 4-bedroom colonial that just sold on Pine Mill as well.
Yeah. And kind of, but like, take a step back and shy back from it and be like, whoa.
They're going to feel, I feel as if buyers feel as if they can't compete. And I think that that's what we're seeing.
Lending to the buyer fatigue.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
totally.
And that's one of the things too, that we're seeing is, with the offers that we're seeing, the one offer that we did accept, by the way, it actually ended up being Samuelson Horton on Franklin, that we ended up with 6 offers. And it's funny because his client has a house to sell that wasn't even on the market yet, but we still felt as if for certain reasons that we can't really discuss yet, we felt as if his offer was the best offer for many reasons, actually, even though he had a house to sell. But I said to my clients, I think it's worth the risk. Like, we always used to accept offers if somebody had something to sell. Yeah. So don't worry. Don't fret. We got your back.
And even look at the market. I mean, how long are things really staying on for? So do we really have to be that concerned? I mean, we're pretty confident that Sam can, if you're not market a house pretty well and price it right. So, I mean, we know that I don't think really we're concerned about his ability to sell that house. So really it wasn't that big of a factor with the offer.
Yeah. But I think now, because some of the other buyers that were, the way that everything escalated, and we will get into our topic, I promise you, but the way that everything escalated with, these multiple offers over asking was, all right, the house is on the market for $500. I'm going to give you $500 cash. Then buyer B says, I don't have cash. I'll give you $525. And then buyer C says, I'll give you $550. And then buyer C says, I'll waive my home inspection and give you $550. And then it goes up to $575 and I'll waive my mortgage. It happened so fast. But now I think that, the buyers who have the fatigue, they're taking the summer off. It's giving people who do have a house to sell or have the other hairy leg scenarios in their life an opportunity to finally get a house. So I think that's good news.
I'm so looking forward to that. And actually, we talked about that with our clients yesterday. And I think 50% of the offers that we presented all had a home sale contingency in some way, shape, or form, which is almost refreshing to see. It's like we were kind of out there saying, like, give everybody a shot, give them a shot. And we've been, somebody did call me on Franklin over the weekend, just after the open house. And they said, is the fact that they have a home sale contingency a deal killer? Like, is that going to take it off the table entirely? And I said, absolutely not. It really all depends on everything else.
Yep.
So put it in and we'll see where we go.
Yeah. And it's a good time right now, especially if people, and here's the thing, if you do have buyer fatigue, there's a lot of you that do. So maybe don't get out right now.
So maybe like stick into it.
Yeah. And for the sellers, P.S. you might be missing the boat a bit here. So if you are thinking about selling, don't sit back thinking, oh, it's going to continue to go up. It will, like the value is going to be much higher than you ever anticipated based on the comps we have, but don't anticipate 100, 125, 200 over asking.
I've seen more houses. So I was just in MLS before coming down here. I've seen more houses probably in this past couple of weeks with price changes.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Than I ever have. I was like, I'm really surprised by that. So a lot of people are, like you said, listing emotionally, and they're kind of missing the mark.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to our topic. And actually our topic kind of has to do with Sam's client too. Yeah. But we'll reveal that in a couple months. But so tonight we are going to be talking about best practices for moving, and for moving day. So we recently, and I say recently, but 2 years ago, had to move our entire office, and we had to come up with a plan of how we were going to do that.
Thank God you had a plan.
Yeah, I know. I came across the colored tape downstairs the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm having like flashbacks.
I loved that idea. That was fantastic.
It was a good idea, but we'll get into my great idea. So let's start off with, some of the best practices when preparing for moving day. So obviously the first thing that we recommend is to hire a reputable moving company. Correct, ladies?
And there's no such thing, just to harp on that, there's no such thing as hiring them too early. Because I've heard that from a couple. Oh, sorry.
We'll get to that point.
Oh, sorry.
You have an agenda.
If you looked at your agenda. So, but you as an agent would recommend a moving company, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We have companies that we refer, and I always think that you should, get somebody that you refer. There's a lot of, how there's like ambulance chasers. I feel like there's like moving chasers too. Like that people are, they see that your house is on the market,
or like
and
a dumpster. Or they show a dumpster chaser.
Yeah,
you see a dumpster at a house. It's like,
yeah. Yeah. Then the companies, like there's certain companies that will send them postcards and things like right away, like, hey, choose us as a moving company.
They're watching MLS when things go contingent.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think if the U-Haul is already at the house, you're too late. Yeah. They've already figured it out. They're going to do it on their own. So obviously ask your agent if they have a referral, ask a family member or a friend or anybody that you know that recently moved. Did they do it on their own? How hard or easy it was? I've never used a moving company. I've always done it myself, and it's always a pain. So I would recommend you never know.
Think about that though. That's one room. Think about a whole house.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an apartment. Think about a whole house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Casey and Dustin are going to be moving soon. I said, you should
they're moving again.
Yeah. They're getting a new apartment.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Hire a moving company.
Hire a moving company.
We know someone.
Yeah.
And then obviously look online to sort of see, but look at reviews, I think I read like a statistic of like millennials nowadays, like read a certain amount of reviews before they actually buy something.
I actually think
it's
like
so
9.
true.
Like it's a lot.
It's so true. Like, but they trust the opinion of strangers over the opinions of people that they know.
Really?
Yeah. Because it has something to do with like people generally tell you what you want to hear type of thing. But like, if you read an online review, it's like, unless you get like the one angry person that like went to a diner and didn't like the food or something, but back to what Mary was saying. So when should somebody contact a moving company?
I think it's never too soon, right? I just think, you're putting your house on the market and you might as well call somebody in, you know what I mean? And because here's the thing too, timeline right now is a lot shorter than it was before. So you're better off being well prepared, especially if you're going to get multiple estimates.
Herringbrook was Mother's Day weekend to Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
It was literally like a month and a month.
Yeah.
So that's wild.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it does.
I just realized that right now.
Yeah. It goes by fast.
That's funny. Yeah, it was.
So definitely don't wait until like 2 weeks beforehand and think you're going to get a moving company, because you're not going to get a moving company.
One of our agents actually asked me last week, my client obviously is moving. What, they need a moving company. Which one would you recommend could get out there the fastest? I go, how fast is fast? Because you better start calling around.
Yeah, especially right now.
I gave a couple that we have used, but I was like, you better call now, because they might not even have, because this was like in 2 weeks. So I was like, that might be a little tight there.
Yeah, especially in June. I mean, we already saw last week that the registry was backed up.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what it's going to be like next week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, we were being notified of things going on record even after 5 o'clock. So I don't think that there's or it doesn't hurt to call a moving company and say, hey, I'm purchasing a home. I have to move out of a home. This is the date. It may fluctuate a little bit. Like, do you have availability in this time? And obviously they're a moving company. They are used to these types of questions. So they should be able to help them. They're the professionals. So they'll help you pinpoint, but I don't think it's too early ever.
And then some people get nervous about, when do they start packing? Is that next on your list? Did I just jump ahead? I'm sorry.
You did this.
I know.
Yeah. When to start packing. Yeah. We can move on.
Yeah. So I know that people worry about that, because there's always that in between of, all right, I have an accepted offer. Do I start packing now? All right, I have a signed purchase and sales agreement. Do I start signing now? Do I wait until I have the commitment letter when I know it's definitely going to happen? Well, commitment letter sometimes is late. Yeah, it's like 2 days before sometimes if it gets pushed off. So that's a little late. So you are taking a little bit of a chance by doing it, but let's just be honest. If anything happened, vacant homes sell too. Yeah. So,
well, that, and you're going to, if the goal is to still continue to move, you're going to have to pack up regardless.
Yes.
So the little trinkets and all of the things that you can be packing along the way, maybe not the necessities, like the go bags.
Yeah.
Just pack it up.
Yeah.
I'll live out of the suitcase before I'll ever not be ready to get out of the house.
Yeah.
I swear. I live out of
a suitcase when I go on vacation, because I don't ever unpack. So why not? If you can do it on vacation, why not do it in your own home?
Yeah. Be on vacation in your own home.
Last week. Maybe that's what I'll do. We should all go home and pack a bag and then just live out of it for a week. And then we'll just say we took a vacay.
I'm going to be doing that next week. Anyways, I'm
an excuse to go buy all new clothes. Be like,
yes, let's go to Marshall's after this. Yeah. So, but it's funny. What was I going to say? I don't remember, but let's move on. So everybody underestimates how much stuff that they have, and you have to pack whatever, but you have to have a plan in place. So, when, at least this is just talking from personal experience, it's, you start to go through the things that maybe you haven't gone through in a while, or since you moved in. I literally have a box in my closet that I have not opened since I moved into Mary's house. And I recently opened it the other day, and I was like, I don't even remember having this. And I threw it all away, because I was like, what is this?
Melissa, we still have like 10 boxes in the basement that we have not opened since we moved here.
Yeah, I know. It's just like things. It's like in the back of your head. It's just like, no, because what if there's treasure in there? What if there's like a Beanie Baby that's worth like $1 million?
Yeah, I doubt from the office when we moved from one office to the other, I didn't have any Beanie Babies.
Oh, I thought you meant in your house.
No, here in the office, in the basement.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah,
2 years.
Well, not as long as 1992. But
no, I got a 6-month rule. If I haven't used it, touched it, or looked at it in 6 months, gone.
Well, you can when you start to go through those things, you can donate them, you can throw them away. What is deliver?
Like deliver it to like what is the place Goodwill?
Yeah.
Salvation Army, and delegate.
Like and delegate. So delegate different things for people to take care of with you. You know what I mean? So
or ask for help.
Yeah. And delegate. I just say, hey, if you have kids, I'm delegating the area of the basement to you.
Yeah.
I want you to go through all of your stuff.
Yeah.
Even if, I think about, a lot of our clients that, we've been dealing with recently, it's sort of like that boomer generation, or the generation where they're getting to be empty nesters soon, everyone going off to college. yeah, even in my own house right now, like I have a tote of rocks up in my attic that I've talked about for years. Like I'm going to delegate that to Casey. Like do something with it.
Were there Casey's rocks?
They're Casey's rocks. Anytime we went anywhere,
a whole tote of rocks.
a tote of rocks.
How does it not fall through your ceiling?
Yeah,
imagine
it
you
probably
forget
will.
in the basement.
You forget that at final walkthrough, and it's like, what was this woman doing with a tote of rocks?
Yeah, I agree with the whole delegating thing. And you know, when you hire a professional mover, that's sort of what they do. So they come in with a team, and at least from our experience, when we packed up the office, it was these guys were responsible for the heavy lifting. These guys were responsible for bringing things up and down the stairs, because we went from one level to three levels. And so they had to, like, we hired them as professionals. So it was their responsibility to sort of figure that out. When you do it on your own, you have to think of everybody's strengths and weaknesses when around you. When I was moving, I have a teenage brother and he had a girlfriend. And I said, you two are coming to my apartment and you're packing up my U-Haul. And there I was driving a U-Haul for the first time, petrified. But you know what? Like I took advantage of the people that were in my life and capable of doing the heavy lifting and moving and whatever. They made a couple bucks and that's fine. But you know, hiring a professional is probably like the best thing that you can do. And call around and get quotes.
Yes.
Call around and get quotes, because the more quotes you get, the more you realize like, okay, this is the norm. Yep. This is probably too high. This is like, it's too low. There must be something going on with this.
If it's too low, there's something going on.
Well, that I was just going to say, honestly, in my opinion, no price is too high for the amount of stress that's probably going to take off of you on moving day. If you just hire somebody and you kind of, well, I guess if you hire the right person, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
If you hire the right moving company to come through and really help you out, you pay the extra money. It's kind of like you get what you pay for, truthfully.
And some of the companies will pack the things up for you. So you also have that option. If you just don't have the time to do it, you can have somebody come in. But I think when you're moving and packing, like you want to get rid of a lot of the stuff anyway. So that's when you should be donating or dumping it or doing whatever you're doing with it. So I think that you don't want to bring as much stuff with you.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. So that's sort of moving, and I'll go into like how we organize, because the next part is like how to leave your house. How we sort of decided that we were going to organize was, you know, each of us had our own office. And so you can think of it as a bedroom. So, each of us had our own room in the old office, and now we each have our own room here. And we were just boxing everything up, and all of our boxes were the same. All of our totes were the same. So in order to make it easy for the guys that were moving us, you know, we decided that we were going to use colored tape that would seal all of our boxes and our containers. And we put the colored tape. So like Mary had green. I had red, Sharon had blue, Laurie had yellow, and we were, and then we put those colors on the doors of our new offices, and they knew exactly, like they just packed everything up into their truck. And then they knew where exactly what room each box. They obviously weren't unpacking them, but it wasn't like, here's all the stuff, bye. Well, it was, they were the ones who got to organize the boxes, because we sort of did all the colors, and you know, it could be the same for bedrooms and
even
our
our
rooms,
like our furniture. We even put tape on the furniture. So they knew like my desk was going in my office, and et cetera, et cetera. Same thing with like the beds and the dressers and things like that. I loved that idea. I will never not probably take that idea if I ever move. I'm never moving.
There's also some tape that has like, it says living room, family room, bedroom, blah, blah, blah. So
you can buy that. Like U-Haul.
All right. So let's talk about how a house should be delivered to their new owners. So we have sort of been talking about moving day. So let's talk about sort of the final walkthrough and what buyers are going to be looking for when they're walking through your house.
I have strong feelings about this.
Okay.
Since I got quiet, it should be 100% vacant of all your personal belongings when that buyer comes through for their final walkthrough. And final walkthrough, in reality, Yes. Do we as buyer's agents do it the morning of the closing or an hour or so before the closing? Absolutely. We encourage our buyers to do that, but sometimes schedules do not allow. So there is sometimes where the night before is something that some agents will try and do. So if you can at least localize whatever you have remaining to one room, even if it's small stuff.
And I think a good tip is for, other agents that are listening, or for people who are listening, if you're a seller, to maybe bring up to your agent, of course, if you're not using us, or one of the Boston Connect agents, is, ask what is the expectation of the buyer?
Yeah.
Because is the buyer coming from far away? Or is the closing far away that it doesn't make sense for them to come the morning of the closing, that they want to come the night before? Because we had a situation recently where the seller just couldn't get out by the night before, but PS didn't get much notice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I totally agree with you. Setting the expectation, like even recently for 31 Herringbrook, the buyers were all the way up in Boston. And their attorney was up in Boston, and their agent was actually coming from the exact opposite direction. So he did their final walkthrough for them because it wasn't physically possible for them to get down here and get back. And they trusted him, and he was comfortable doing that. He took a video for them and things like that. The house was left impeccably, but at the same time, that's not always going to be the case, as we have experienced in the past. Buyers agents out there are trying to do everything that they can right now to make things easy on their clients. And, if you come into that final walkthrough day and the house is not ready, your buyers aren't there, that's a whole other story.
Yeah. And that's the one thing too, is I'm happy as a listing agent to meet your client there if you can't. I, under no circumstances, am going to go into the house and take on the responsibility of saying this house is in good order, because good, isn't it relative? I mean, it looked okay to me. Broom swept. Again, that is one of the things on the agenda. What does that mean? Well, there's a literal meaning per the purchase and sales agreement says that it has to be broom swept. Well, what's the moral compass on that? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm just thinking of the shower question that you got.
It's on there.
Yeah. So then when it comes to sellers leaving paint or extra wood material or siding, tile, shingles, whatever, cleaning products, how do you guys feel about that?
Not unless you have express permission from the buyer.
Yeah.
Like if you say, hey, I have all of this extra paint. We just, painted the whole entire house. And I wanted them to be able to touch up. All right. Let me know. I'll ask the buyers.
Yeah.
The buyers will give you a yay or nay. They might be coming in and painting the whole darn house.
Well, maybe even share what happened when we did the home inspection in Stoughton, where the seller had left sticky notes on everything.
Forgot about that. That was so funny. She was really cute. So that we had the buyers on this. We're going through the home inspection, and the seller had there was things that she intended on not leaving. She put sticky notes on everything that said like yes or no. So the buyer could walk around. What a great idea.
Yeah, it was.
Until some of the sticky notes fell down.
So we were like, what is this for?
Until some of the sticky, it was a very good thought in the moment. But they were able to go around and without actually hurting the feelings of the seller, say, no, like I don't have a use for this essentially, or yes, I would love this, or yes, I would love this.
Yeah.
Kathy was hysterical. She's running around checking every box. She's like,
Mary,
you want a shelf?
Yeah.
Mary,
she's like, I'll take it if you want it. You want this?
That's a really, really good idea. I think that we should incorporate that for our sellers.
Yeah. Anything that you don't want.
Well, even when I don't mean to cut you off, I apologize. Even I had met the buyers over on Herringbrook, so they could they were going to be redoing the closets and doing custom closets. So, but the sellers happened to be there, and they are meticulous about everything. And honestly, like we went through the whole entire house, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to leave that. Is that okay with you?" And it was like the buyers are like, "Yes, please leave it." Like everything was in such great condition that they're just like, they were like doe-eyed, like, oh my gosh, like we get to keep this. Like this
They're
is
so
great.
excited. Yeah.
You know,
Guys,
so
the closing package that he left for them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Every neighbor's contact information. I think birthdays in there. Like it was.
Oh yeah. It's
thorough.
who lives on who lives in each house, their dogs' names, everything, like the whole list. It's like
sweet.
crazy. How long they've been living there. Oh, this one is thinking about, you know,
It was
potentially
nice.
moving. Yeah. So it was nice. And you know, the neighbor's dog would, you know, comes out, but he's very friendly and he likes to greet everybody, crashes the parties and everything. So they warned him about that, but very cute. Oh, we don't always recommend that.
No. That's circumstantial.
That's very circumstantial. But you know, the sticky note thing is a great idea. And sometimes people even put into their offer that they want certain things, whether it's pool equipment or whatever. But if the buyer puts something in their offer that is something that typically somebody wouldn't leave behind, that's something that they're going to be looking for during their walkthrough. So if it's not there, they're going to say something. Oh, there was a fridge in the garage. Where is it? There was a fridge in the cabana. Where was it? Like, so now we count how many fridges are in the house.
No joke.
That happened.
Yeah. And does it say fridge or fridges? Which fridge are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because we'll leave the mini fridge.
And shouldn't it say refrigerator?
Oh, I hate when people write fridge into an offer.
I think it's because they only have a certain amount of space. And
Or
everyone is
people
so used to
refrigerator.
I have misspelled it. You've called me out on it. You spelled it wrong.
How would you ever remember that? You probably did it
because
once.
I did it once and I'll never do it again. And I said regards once.
Oh yeah.
And I'll never do it again. I always say in regard to. Now I like emphasize it.
Don't worry about it. Mary did it. Mary used to do it.
No, that's what I used to say. Irregardless. And you go, you know what, sweetie? I just want to tell you, I must have been 22. She goes, you know what, sweetie? It's really not irregardless. And I go, I've been saying it wrong for 22
regardless
years.
of. Well, no, I think you might be.
It's regardless.
Regardless. Irregardless is a double negative.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we diverge.
Yeah.
So welcome to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. We are live tonight. If you have any questions for us, feel free to call Benjamin at the WATD studio at 781-837-4900. You have myself, Sharon McNamara, Melissa Wallace, and Mary Baker here tonight. And we are discussing being prepared for that moving day and some little tips that we can give you to help you be that way. And if you are in Pembroke, please don't forget that tonight is town meeting. So I think it's really important for people to go to town meeting and get your votes counted. And a little plug for our one and only Susan Bollinger. She's running for school committee, and I am 100% endorsing her. Yes, I am. For school committee. I think that she is going to be wonderful in that position. And I hope anybody who's listening will take my endorsement to heart and give her a vote.
Yeah. Got my vote. We're voting.
Okay.
Yeah. I even asked her today, I was like, when can we vote? She's like, you can vote now. I'm like, perfect. We'll be there. Yeah. So I thought she was going to come by, but I think she's going to the town
She's
meeting.
going to town meeting tonight.
And that starts at 7. So
at the high school.
At the high school. Yeah. So we only have about a little less than 10 minutes left in the show. So let's talk about when does the final walkthrough take place? And we'll talk about your final walkthrough is not a home inspection. And I can't emphasize that enough. And Mary is itching over there like she is about to explode. But when does a final walkthrough typically take place? Mary, you kind of talked about it a little bit.
So night or day before, depending on seller dependent, and or morning before or right before closing.
And I always I like to do it an hour before the closing. That's just we did today. Yeah. I mean, I just prefer it that way. Then you know that everything is out. And if everything isn't out, because that's the other thing too, is if you go the night before and we're saying, hey, there's still some items in the house,
you're going to have to go back.
Someone's going to have to go back and see that those items are removed the way that you want them removed. So why don't you just wait until the next day?
Well, so what happens if somebody leaves things?
So what we do generally is we request a holdback. So,
which is
like we hold back money from the seller's proceeds until everything is out of the house. But then it just gets a little messy. You know what I mean? You're dealing with the attorneys and the IOTA accounts and them cutting new checks and everybody running around. It's really hard.
Yeah. I would, just because I do the bookkeeping, like I would go insane. I'd be like, wait, I already cut a check for this amount. Now I have to redo it because now there's a holdback and now I have to hold this. Like, no, thanks.
And it does happen. But, that's the thing is people say that they're going to get everything out, and we'll get to our fiascos when we have a few minutes left. And
honestly, I feel like it's important to say, from a real estate perspective and from a buyer perspective, if stuff is there, don't panic. There are solutions and there are ways to rectify the situation. It doesn't have to be a battle, and you do not have to go in there with your war face on. And I think a lot of times agents, and I'm not obviously like talking about anyone in particular, but they go in with the mindset of, I need to advocate for my client and this is not right. You have to fix this. And it honestly escalates the situation for the client and leaves them with a negative experience. And I'll be honest, like I've done it with my sister. Those sellers, unfortunately, they left a lot of stuff and the agent could see that I was escalating. And it was my sister who kind of said, hey, I'm okay with everything. And I think because I was emotionally involved with her, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it's not okay to leave a trailer in the back of a house
that has to go over a new lawn. No.
Yeah. Okay. So that's understandable. I just want to get through like quickly the next part so we can get to the fiascos. And then we have 3 new listings coming on. So we want to talk about those. So other things to consider before moving day is contacting your utility companies. Again, you don't really have, it's not really like a timeline of how far in advance. Just let them know like, hey, I'm switching ownership. Don't shut it off completely. It's moving this day, transfer of ownership. Change your mailing address on credit cards, forward address at the post office. I think they continue to forward for at least a year. At the post office. Do a final water reading. So the final water reading they drive 20 miles an hour past your house, read it, and then they charge you for it. Depending on which town you live in, you need a final water reading for closing. A smoke inspection, that's also something that needs to be done. If you live in a town that has private septic, you need a Title V inspection. We've done plenty of shows about that. So go to talkrealestateroundtable.com and find one of our past shows about Title V. Sharon loves talking about septic systems. Make a plan for kids and pets. Again, we've done a show on this as well. Think about the day of closing, figure out schools and daycare, and then pack a suitcase for overnight. Just in case, pun intended.
I get it, case. I didn't even do that on purpose.
All right, let's talk about a couple fiascos, and then the last couple minutes we'll talk about our 3 new listings.
And again, I want to reiterate what Mary had said too, is you don't get all fired up about it, because I think the best way to solve any problem is by being proactive, not being reactive. When anybody gets reactive and fired up, I've been doing this for 20 years. You are just using your own blood pressure for no reason, because you're not going to get me fired up. Yeah, I just am not going to. Let's come to a resolve. Okay. So we had a situation recently, and we of course, as listing agents, we tell our clients what the expectation is. Have you started packing yet? Have you started moving? And this one time, it was a little difficult for the clients to get everything together. And I should have known the day before closing, I saw him in Lowe's buying boxes, and I was like, this is not good. So you should have already you shouldn't be doing that right now. And when they were closing at 11 o'clock. I went to the house at 10:30. No one's at the house. House is still full. Like a lot of stuff, not just a little. So I call and I was like, where are you? Well, we just made one more trip. We're coming back with 2 cars and we're going to do one more trip. I go, you better call U-Haul and get a van. We're supposed to close at 11. So I just called our attorney and just basically let our attorney know what was going on. And he's like, well, this is a first. I'm calling the buyer's agent to tell him that it's, what's going on. So Mary was packing boxes, moving boxes, and I was sweeping floors and cleaning like toilet bowl things that look like cats, cleaner things like out of the bathrooms, and like just getting that. They had toilet bowl cleaners, but they were like
ceramic cats.
cute.
Yeah. So, I'm moving all this stuff and I'm sweeping. And then of course, every time I find a penny or a dime or something on the floor, I was like, that's not mine. I have to put it somewhere. So, but we did what we had to do.
Yep.
I'm not opposed to picking up some boxes, but we got to go quick.
Any other fiasco you want to talk about before we talk about our listings?
Most recently, we had a moving company that unfortunately showed up. They were supposed to show up at, I think, and it wasn't one that we recommended. It was somebody that the seller had gone to directly. They were supposed to show up, I believe, at 4. They didn't show up until 7:30, and they were packing up their house until 3 a.m. 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So that was stressful, and closing was at 10 and final walkthrough was at 8. So that was really stressful for them because they still needed to clean once the moving company had gotten finished.
Yeah.
You know,
and one other last one I remember, this was years ago. The moving company got a flat tire on the way, and then they had to wait for someone to come to fix the flat tire on this big truck. They charged my client $1,000 more. Again, not someone we referred,
of the flat tire?
Because of the time. They charged them for the time. And when my client was like refusing to pay it, they took everything out of the truck and put it in the garage and left.
Shut up.
Swear to God.
Of their new house?
Yep.
Oh, well, at least it's at their new house and they didn't drive backwards and go to the old house and say, toodaloo.
Yeah. Well, they moved. Because they got a flat tire. So there we go. All right, talk about our new listings coming up and anything for the office. I'm not sure of yet.
So we have, I don't know if we're going to give exact addresses, but we have first on our list in Pembroke. You guys want to talk about that one?
Yes. 67 Redwood Circle. Yeah, it's whatever. I can't think right now.
67 Redwood Circle in Pembroke coming on this week. It's going to be listed for $375. It is a 3-bedroom-ish ranch.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit more. And then we have a couple others coming on, but I know that's our exit music. So just stay tuned. You'll have to watch our
one in Pembroke, one in Plymouth.
Yep. And there's another, so we have another one coming on that one's coming on for $375.
Yeah.
We have another 1-bedroom coming on in Pembroke with a garage that's coming on for $299. And then one in Plymouth coming on for,
we have a 55+ community coming on. It's 3 bedrooms. It's going to be $250.
Perfect. So call us at the office. BostonConnect.com is how you can get in touch with us, and you can hear all our past shows on Talk Real Estate Roundtable.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Guys. Bye, everybody.
The voting rights bill voted down.
We will not give up this.
Have a great night.